The Comedy Grinder. Streaming live worldwide from the First Church of Cannabis. Tonight,
Sky Boggs, Nolan Miller, Rob Wilpon, Otis Boggs, Gary Goebel.
tonight's episode,
Living in occupied territory.
Welcome to the First Church of Cannabis and the Comedy Grinder. We are going to jump right into things, and already on stage is our first comic of the night. Please welcome Mr. Nolan Miller.
Hello! Oh man, yeah, I think people should count their blessings more. I really do. Like for instance, my parents, they don't believe in my dreams, you know, but at least they're not racist. Oh yeah, at least they're not racist. But you know, because like I know I'm a shitty person, okay? Because I'd be okay if they were racist, if they like believed in me, you know? Like, let's say, yeah, my dad, he may say the N-word one time too many, but at least he loves me for me, you know? Or like my mom, she may yell at the gardener to go back to Mexico, even though he's from Guatemala. Oh, who cares? You know what she always says? Nolan, you don't have to reach for the stars, because you already are one. Oh, Mom. I have a problem, though. People say, oh, you should love each other unconditionally. No, because your parents will be racist if you love them unconditionally, even if they are racist. For instance, if your dad is racist, you're not going to be like, you know what, Dad? I love you anyways. You shouldn't. No. You'd be like, okay, Dad, I'm going to talk to you again once you can talk to our black neighbor, okay? He's a person. Just talk to him. He's a real guy. Oh, man. Whew. Yeah, I have $25 on my student account at my college. Yeah, it's for swearing. Yeah. The only school that happens at is a Christian college. I go to a Christian college, yeah. And they fine you for using swear words. It was my birthday. It was my birthday, and someone actually got me a present, okay? Like, he actually got me a present. And I said, fucking shit, I love you, man. And my RA just happens to walk by, and he fines me $25 fucking dollars for saying, fucking shit, I love you. It'd be different. I was like, fuck you, you piece of shit. Like, that would make sense. So anyways, I go to enrollment services where you have to pay the fine. I go there, and the lady at the front desk is like, okay, it's going to be $25. And I give her $45. And she's like, oh, you gave me $20 more. Why'd you give me $20 more? Because fuck you, that's why. God damn, here, I'll throw another $20 in. One for the swear word, one for using God's name in vain. It's a stupid rule. Change it. Please, just change it. There also is an anti-masturbation group at my college. Yes, an anti-masturbation group. How did I find out? It was in my dorm. I was there. There was a sign in my hallway that said FAP group. And I go to my RA and I'm like, hey, buddy, what's FAP group? And he's like, oh, it stands for Federation Against Penis Pumping. I'm like, what? First of all, penis pumping and masturbation are two entirely different things. I don't think you guys masturbate that much. I don't think you do. I don't really think you do. So he's like, yeah, we meet every Tuesday. We get in a circle, we say how many times we masturbated, then we multiply that number by 10, and we all do push-ups in the hallway until we're all done. And of course I went to the first meeting, because why not, right? Like, I might as well go. Yeah, so I go, and there's a bunch of people, like he said, in a circle, and the first guy comes up, and he's like, "Hi, my name is Ian," and oh God, Jesus, I'm sorry, oh God. And I masturbated one time this week, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're almost there. You don't need to worry about this. You're pretty much already there. If I masturbate 21 times in a week, I'm not lonely, okay? Just calm down. Yeah, and then but then the next guy will come up and he'll be like, "Yeah, hey, I'm Ted, and I masturbated 15 times this week," and he won't give a shit. And I'm like, okay, you both are going to have to do push-ups. Now, I'm going to think about this. The RA is probably gay. Think about it. He has a bunch of freshmen to seniors in college tell how many times they masturbate and when they do it and why they do it. And then he gets to watch all of them do push-ups for about 30 minutes. By the end of the year, he's going to have some sexy fucking dudes in that dorm. Oh, he's going to fuck all of them. I decided, you know what? I want to make a pro-masturbation group at my college, and I'll call it Jesus Group. And it'll stand for Jizzing Everywhere Solo, United Spiritually. Because you know why? Because I may like to masturbate, but I also love Jesus, okay? Okay, everybody? Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it would be so much fun. Jesus Group. It'd be way more chill than FAP Group. It'd be like, so, anyone want to start? No, nobody's here because everyone's masturbating in their rooms like civilized adults? Thank God. I'm going to go back to it. You know? Yeah. Let's keep on going. Oh, this is so much fun. I'm enjoying myself. Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not a pathological liar, but I do weigh 200 pounds. Nah. Okay, fine, I'm lying. I weigh 210. Yeah. Okay, fine, I'm a fucking awful liar. It's 240, okay? 270 on my license. That's what I put on my license. It's actually 280. I think it's good to be honest with people, you know? It's 280. I weigh 280 pounds. I'm fine with it. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Man. Yeah, my family is like super attractive, and I'm not. So it's like, it's really hard, you know, dealing with like pictures. Like, if you look at a picture of my family, it looks like they're all from LA, and it looks like I need to go to LA. Fitness. Need to go. Just go over there. It stresses me out. Like, I know I need to go to the gym because I get beat at tug of war by my dog. You know? I mean, what can I say, though? He's one ferocious miniature dachshund. Oh, yeah. He beats me every time. And, yeah, like, I have a goal. Like, one of my exercise goals is to beat my dog, my miniature dachshund at tug of war. That's a shitty exercise goal. No wonder I'm getting nothing done. At all. But I have a plan. I have a plan to beat my dog. I'm going to feed him my leftover pizza because I get a lot of pizza. The only problem is I never have any leftover pizza. So where am I going to get that? Because I'm eating all of it. So, yeah, that's a thing. Okay, guys, fine. I'll be honest. I killed my neighbor's cat. Okay? I did. Okay, yeah, like, it wasn't like a, psychopath stab, psychopath stab. It was more like a, oh shit, I ran over my neighbor's cat. Oh, God. And, you know, I did what any honorable man would do. I didn't tell them, and I buried it in my backyard. What any other honorable man would do. I buried it right next to my own dead cat. And the neighbor had a 6-year-old daughter, and it was that cat's best friend. And, you know, I'm not going to go to my neighbor and be like, hey, can I see your 6-year-old daughter for a second? and be like, hey, I killed your best friend. I'm not going to do that. What happened was 3 days later, the neighbors knock on my door. I answer it. It's the parents and the 6-year-old daughter. And they're like, hey, have you seen our cat? Our cat went missing. And I get at knee level, eye to eye with the kid. It's important to get eye level with children. And I say, I haven't seen your cat, but I'm sure it's close by. And they did not find it. I mean, I was tempted to like give them a metal detector and be like, hey, it's in the backyard, you'll eventually find it. And then to go beep, 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 beep. And then they'd eventually find my own dead cat that's also buried in the backyard. Be like, how many cats has this guy killed? What's going on here? Some kind of psychopath or something? Okay. I think it's time. Let's talk about state birds for a second. Let's do it. Why not, right? Yeah, you know what Indiana's state bird is? Yeah, it's the northern cardinal. You know how many other states have the northern cardinal? 5! There's 6 states with the northern cardinal. It's Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Virginia, and West Virginia. All have the northern cardinal. You know what Maryland's state bird is? Yeah, the Baltimore Oriole. It's off their baseball team. It's original. I like it. You know what Missouri's state bird is? Racism. No, it's not racism. Racism doesn't fly. No. No, actually, it's the bluebird, and Missouri shares the bluebird with New York. Yeah, my question is, why isn't New York's state bird the fucking pigeon? There's so many pigeons in New York. At least have a bluebird that's like, hey, I'm walking here, huh? Yeah. Man. Because if you go to New York, in like Central Park in New York City, it's just homeless people and pigeons. That's all it is. You just go like pigeon, 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 homeless guy, homeless guy, homeless guy, pigeon, pigeon. Homeless guy eating a pigeon? Homeless guy covered in pigeons? What's going on in here? I think I should go back to the actual city. Oh, man. You know you need to work out more when you get like winded talking about state birds. You know? Whew. I'm already sweating up in here. That's probably because I'm out of shape. Whew. But I'm glad for the shape I'm in, you know? I actually hate when people say that. When people are like, oh, yeah, I might not look good, but I'm confident in not looking good. I'm like, are you really? How many minutes did it take you to come up with that in the mirror? Probably 30, right? I'm like, yeah, I like who I am. It takes me about 2 hours. And, yeah, I still don't like who I am. So I don't believe you. I really don't. Yeah, people are talking about guns now. And there's a lot of gun shootings going on. And I'll be honest, okay? I'm not a big fan of guns, honestly. I'm not a big fan of guns. I feel about guns the same way I feel about your pet spider, if you have a pet spider. You can talk about it, but I don't want to see it. I don't want it on my shoulder, and I don't want it in my mouth. Okay? I feel the same way if you have a penis. I don't want you to talk about it. I don't want to see it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Yeah. That one's over. We're good. Woo, man. What I was basically saying is I don't mind having a penis on my shoulder. That's what I'm saying. And if I'm getting paid, a penis in my mouth's not that bad either. Come on, guys. I have 1 cent in my bank account right now, okay? 1 cent, and that's to keep a savings account. That's the only reason I have a cent in there. So like even $800, I'll be honest, I'm not going to enjoy it, but you know, that's $800 I didn't used to have. So I might as well, you know, suck a dick. Some people do it for a job. So like, it's not that big of a deal. Just suck the dick. You're going to get $800 to suck a penis. Like I used to work at an MCL cafeteria. I was scraping dishes. You know how many times I'm thinking, man, I wish I had a dick in my mouth right now. So many times. Because that was a terrible job. Yeah. I used to work at an orange leaf frozen yogurt. That's where I used to work. And I don't know if you know about that place, but people don't know how to weigh frozen yogurt. They'll put this like 24-ounce cup on the scale. They'll be like, man, that's $12. Ugh, you're scamming me. I'm like, no, sir, it's 65 cents per ounce. So every time you put a fucking ounce in there, it's gonna be more money. And so you add that up, it's gonna up to $12. That's just how it goes. And people will like try to fight me on it. They'll be like, no, it's probably less than that. I'm like, sir, I've been working here for 2 years. And all of you do the same thing. Just go and suck a dick or something. Make some money. Do something with your life, please. I'm over here, I'm making frozen yogurt. You know how much I'd be rather sucking a dick right now for way more money? God. That's basically my entire set. Is just, don't mind, if you get paid, don't care about sucking dick. Okay. That'll be it for me. Thank you.
Keep that going for Mr. Nolan Miller. All right, we are going to keep things rolling right along. And coming up next to the stage, in her great, wonderful, triumphant return to the First Church of Cannabis and the Comedy Grinder, please give a warm welcome for Miss Sky Boggs.
I need to work out. Well, obviously, looking at me, you can tell I go to school. So, there's this one kid. He likes to knock books out of people's hands and name call. I think the correct term is a douche. Well, the other day, I had the nerve to tell him what I really thought about him, and his response was, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." But what if I threw a dictionary at you? I know I shouldn't be too mean about it. I mean, I hang out with the nerdy people. 2 reasons. One, I'm better looking. And the other one is I feel like I could connect with them more than I can with any type of group. You know, you have the preppy people who are just energetic sluts. And then the emo people, and they just cut way more than I do. But I think I got in good with them the other day. They were talking about rings or something. I'm like, oh, right, when Harry Potter went to defeat the Incredible Iron Man? So I recently came out of the closet. I've been tied up for a while. Fun fact, did you know Napoleon was stabbed 23 times? It's just a fun fact. I hang out with my brother a lot, no friends. And he's been playing Grand Theft Auto, and I recently took my driver's permit test. And I think I failed. Sorry about that. And I think I failed. I couldn't run a red light. Messed that up. I ran a red light. I couldn't do a U-turn, and the hooker was still alive. And in my family, my cousin, he is the crown child. I mean, everybody absolutely loves him. He has straight A's, he's in sports, still got his virginity. I'm just kidding. I play basketball. And my parents, I think they should be proud of me. I mean, most kids my age are going out and smoking weed. I mean, I only sell it. Fun fact, did you know Marilyn Monroe's mom spent time in a mental hospital? Oh, so my friend Paul, he was flipping on and off a light switch, and his mom told him to be careful because you can get shocked doing that. That's actually happened to me before. I was shocked when my grandma told me she loved me. Guys, she is so fake. When she goes to hell, you won't smell burning flesh, you'll smell melted plastic. And I told her, I was with her yesterday, and I told her that I got a job not too long ago. And she goes, well, I had a job when I was 14. Okay, so if I was to follow in your footstep, next year I should be pregnant, dropping out of high school, and smoking meth. She's such a great role model. Fun fact, Elton John is gay. If you didn't know. I am the type of person that I like it when people can prove things to me. But I recently stopped asking that when my preacher proved to me he liked little girls. Hey, how do you think I feel? I can't see my uncle anymore. Oh, so I was babysitting my cousin. He's like 6, and we were watching Beauty and the Beast. And when it was over, he turns and looks at me, and he goes, when I grow up and I find a pretty girl, I won't look like this anymore. And I looked in his blue eyes and I said, oh, honey, you're screwed. Somebody had to tell him. His mom wasn't going to. Oh. So, sorry. So, my best friend Drake, he punched this girl in the stomach. He was raised in the trashy part of town. And she freaks out. She's like, oh, you killed a baby. Which amazed me because I thought she was just fat. But no, she's a whore. I sent a friend request to Robin Williams, but he left me hanging. I want to be friends with O.J. Simpson, but I feel like he'll be a backstabber. Then again, I'm not Nicole. I know people don't like jokes about JFK, but I'll give it a shot. Oh, you know the accusations against Bill Cosby? How can you believe the women? I mean, they were on drugs. Oh, here's my problem with Caitlyn Jenner. Bear with me, guys. She'll never know what it's like to be an actual woman. I mean, she'll never have periods, cramps, or ever have a child. And does it really make a difference, man, woman? She's going to end up on her knees. Oh. I'm so sorry. Oh, I just literally drew a blank. I don't know what happened. I am so sorry. Anne Frank is a terrible person. She is. She always told her mom she hated her, and she wrote horrible things in her diary about other people. I'm just saying that bitch got what was coming to her. Fun fact, did you know in Hitler's younger years, he was homeless? So, people don't think I write my jokes, and it's something that bothers me. Anyway, so my wife the other day told me she had the best sex ever. I think she cheated on me. Oh, so my friend Kenya, her and her boyfriend just broke up, and they've been together for like a year. So, I'm hugging her, and I'm stroking her hair, trying to calm her down. And I whispered in her ear, it's probably 'cause you're fat. I guess you shouldn't say that to a bulimic. I'm not for sure if she's emo or just really bad at killing herself. Hold on, it gets worse. We were, being a good supportive friend of that I am, we went for a walk down the park, and there was this nice black guy who walked past us, and I said, oh, hey, you should ask him out. And she goes, well, I can't date him. And I asked her why, and she goes, well, he's black. And I started to freak out on her. I'm like, are you seriously racist right now? And she goes, no, I just have a small vagina. As your best friend, you think I would know. Oh, too far? Fun fact, did you know when Nikola Tesla went to go pick up his pay from Edison, instead of paying Tesla, Edison told him, "Welcome to America." That's true. If you ever notice in a in the 1970s, like women's pubic hair was like it looked like a chia pet. I only know, because of pornos. I'm just kidding. I've never seen one all the way through. I get scared when they point it to me. I guess that's why they call it live set. Gauges are like a whore's vagina, all stretched out and smells funky. I know what a whore's vagina looks like, okay? I spent a lot of time with my grandma. Oh, and prostitution makes me sad. I feel bad for anyone who has to sleep with Jerry. This is going good. There's this there's this emo Christian in my neighborhood. I assume he cuts for Christ. Okay. Do I have any Nirvana fans in the crowd? Okay, this joke is for you. This is how I think Kurt Cobain's suicide note actually went. This kills me to write this. It's gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you. I've just been a negative creep for a while. I hate myself, I want to die. Jesus doesn't want me for a sunbeam, so I'll just be in a lake of fire. I don't think he understood the concept of Russian roulette. You know what? I take that back. He was married to Courtney Love. I would have done it sooner. So my friend, she tells me she thinks she can become a comedian, and I asked her why, and she goes, "Well, the other day when I was getting raped, all I could do was laugh." And I freaked out, and I was just like, why would you be laughing at that? But she explained how her dad likes to talk British during sex. Did I mention she was my half-sister? Oh, God. That's probably what she said. I think I've been studying right now in history class the Mayflower. And I think, if you were on the Mayflower, you would probably already know, who the child molester is, right? You got little Timmy that's going, "Are we there yet?" Mama looks at him. "Do you want to go see Tim?" Oh, I messed that up. "You want to go see Jim? Because he'll get you off." That is all I have for you tonight.
Oh, yeah. Keep it going for Sky Boggs. That girl's got a bright future in comedy. All right, we are going to push things right along and go ahead and bring up our next comedian to the stage. He is another veteran of the First Church of Cannabis and Comedy Grinder. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Rob Wilfong.
In the beginning, God made cheese fries, and they were good. I want to tell you guys that it's always been my comedy dream to work at the First Church of Cannabis, where our brownies are gluten-free. And tonight, I feel one step closer to that dream. I'd like to thank the Make-A-Wish Foundation and the Hair Club for Men. I saw where Lady Gaga admitted that while writing her first album, she was smoking marijuana. I got a confession of my own. I was eating painkillers to listen to that shit. Because sometimes a good day just starts with a recorded message. Hello, this is a courtesy call from your Kroger pharmacy. My refills are ready for pickup. Hey, you know what I want to do? I want to go to Chuck E. Cheese, go to the front door and say, I'm with the band. And keep going in. I've had a bad day. I don't think that you've ever truly had your feelings hurt until you've been escorted out of Walmart by a greeter. Wasn't talking that smack on my way in, old bitch. They shouldn't play dance music in their restroom and expect me to hit the urinal. And I was wearing my good pajamas. Tall men pee louder. Just makes sense. Hey, you know what I want to do? I want to open up a restaurant called Leftovers. Now, we will cook to order, but you can't come pick them up until tomorrow. My brother owns a belt loop store. You have to buy your pants somewhere else. I've had a bad day. I went to eat up my leftovers only to find out that my microwave was broke. Thank God my wife had a blow dryer. It was a sandwich. I parted it in the middle. I've had a bad day. Unbeknownst to me, the voices in my head have taken a Rosetta Stone course and are now speaking to me in Swedish. The good thing is I understand IKEA instructions. I assembled a cabinet. I saw a sign on my way here tonight. It said 40 miles per hour when flashing. So I put my pants back on and floored it. This morning I had a bowl with Cap'n Crunch. We got the crunchies. So we ate some cereal. Oh, by the way, I want to tell everybody that's watching tonight, wherever you may be. This is the first time I'm selling merch. Yeah. So what we're going to do is after the show, in the back, I'm going to be selling DVDs for $10. They're blank. Yeah, you can put anything you want on them. I'm going to start telling jokes here in a minute. Pot's not addictive, but brownies? Is everybody here from Kentucky? I guess I have no ride home when this shit's over. You know what we need to do in Kentucky? Besides move? We need to put more money into education, yeah. Every block in my neighborhood has a slow children's sign. We're losing the battle! I actually asked a lady to live down the street to come to a show. She goes, I don't know, Rob. I do not have a sense of humor. But I do love to laugh. So I told her, I don't have a sense of sincerity, but it's been very nice talking to you. Told one of my neighbors I had to go to a funeral. He said, anyone you know? I said, no, I have season tickets, dumbass. I didn't know he was employable. Turns out he's an Uber driver. He's my Facebook friend. And the other day he posted, I've been sick all day and I've been puking up green shit. What do you do with that? I press like. But one day, he invited me into their house and I saw something that I've never seen before in my life. My Thursday group tells me I might not be ready to talk about this yet, but right there in his living room was a dog whose legs were so short that his wiener didn't clear the ground. Oh yes, something like that changed your life. Let me give you an illustration. If this dog was running around in the snow, there'd be all these little paw prints and one long line. So there I was in their living room looking at his dog hood on the carpet. And he saw him and he got all excited because he thought he had company. He's jumping around, he's flying around like, oh fuck, rug burn. And I was trying to think of something really nice to say about the dog, but the only thing that came out of my mouth was, I bet he don't chase cars down that gravel driveway of yours. And then his wife comes running in and she goes, we rescued that dog. I said, well, if you really want to help him out, you'll keep his ass on the linoleum. Rob's got dick jokes. Weather's getting hot. You know what goes good with a tank top? Deodorant. I've been cooking out. For some reason, when I grill worst, I just feel like I could have done a little better. Because this is a family business, ladies and gentlemen. My brother, he's a Wilfong. My dad, he's a Wilfong. My sister got divorced twice so she could be a Wilfong again and again. My grandfather on my dad's side, Wilfong all his life. Being Oriental, I feel a very heavy burden to share my Oriental wisdom with you. In the words of my great ancestor Bill Fong, people who live in glass houses shouldn't hang pictures. Never play Twister with a porcupine. You won't laugh at farts if you don't listen to assholes. Don't go back. We'll be right away. Have you been prescribed the drug Epiziprozil and experienced death? Contact us. You may have a claim. Oh, I've had a great day. No, I haven't. I've had a good week. I've had a really good week. I was invited to my first gay orchestra. All flutes. Hey, it was kind of nice to hang out with men that think outside the box. 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. Hit me. Oh, you're not going to believe this? On Tuesday, I got to take my hard of hearing mother-in-law to the doctor. Yeah, she can't hear shit. They should have never handed me that new patient clipboard. I was in the lobby going, have you ever had syphilis? I was having a blast. Because I know gonorrhea is next. Oh, you're not going to believe this? We had a couple that moved down the street from me. They're named the Swallows. Yeah, that's not funny. I'm just that immature. Yeah, John and I raised swallows. They had a baby girl. They called her Angela. I would have called her never. They live next door to the Spitz. I've had a bad day. I made a pot of bean soup last night. And you know, somewhere between Marlboro and bean soup, I believe I've started vaping. Have you ever just wanted to put on your Spider-Man underoos, grab a couple cans of silly string, and hit the streets and fight crime? Me neither. Have you ever farted in the shower and thought, I don't think my body wash will cover that? Me neither. Have you ever gone to McDonald's, paid for your food at window number 1, and just drove off? Me neither. Someone actually told me, they said, well, Rob, maybe you need to put down the weed. Well, that's just fucking stupid. Because if I was high, I'd never drive past 2 double cheeseburgers. Have you ever been so depressed that you didn't even want to go home and masturbate? Me neither. I remember last year in Cincinnati where the temperatures were so cold, the kids were actually off school because of the temperature. I remember that day because my deodorant froze and I couldn't lift my arms. But anyway, I was watching school closings that day and it was so cold. Immaculate Conception Academy was on Plan B. Catch up. I'm going to start telling jokes here in a minute. Have you guys noticed that people eat a lot of nasty shit in the name of delicacy, don't they? I'm in Kroger, and right there in a plastic bag was a big, nasty cow tongue. I'm thinking, oh, that's just great. Now there's a cow out in the pasture that can't make the M sound. So he just stands around all day going, ew. Ew. The cow goes, thank you for trying comedy. I haven't seen a crowd like this since my circumcision. You can cut me off when you want to. This stage has been busier than a restroom at a bulimia retreat. I was going to say Haitian funeral director, but that's pretty damn tasteless. Thank you. Because here's the problem. Comedy is a lot like heroin and Christmas cards. Don't get started. It will fuck up your life. They don't have an inpatient treatment center for what we have. But I have been hanging out with a lot of comedians. They're pretty cool people. They really are. But every now and then, there's that one guy. There's that one guy that just wants to hold you hostage with all the shit he's done. I've got CDs out and I've got DVDs out, and they're thinking about putting me in movies. And I've got this great commercial deal in the works, and I've worked at the First Church of Cannabis. And I've been on TV. I think, well, hell, I've been on TV. There was this apartment fire. Yeah, that sucker was ablaze. I remember I was standing there having a cherry icy and a cigarette watching that sucker burn. But what was really cool is that it was a morning fire, so I was on at noon, 5, and 11. Don't leave without my card. I would like to ask everybody to hit me up on Facebook. But unfortunately, yesterday I reported myself as spam twice. So I don't know how long I have. I couldn't believe this. I got kicked off a no rules yard sale site. They had rules. Before I get out of here, I want to tell you good folks here at the Church of Cannabis, where our brownies are gluten-free, that I have been working exclusively on autobiographical impersonations. Yeah, I do me. You want to see one? Okay. This is me. Doing me. Honey! Baby! Love! Can you bring me some toilet paper? Thank you. That's my best shit. Before I get out of here, has anybody here seen my act before? I haven't changed shit. No, but I thought that there'd be some people here who had seen me before, so I started writing a new joke. You want to hear it? Yeah. Okay. A hair lip walks into a candy store. She says, I'd like to bite on that. That's all I got so far. I did see where Disney Pixar is going to follow up their blockbuster movie Cars with an animated movie called Mobile Homes. Yeah, I saw the trailer. A paraplegic walks in to Walmart. Thank you. How much time do I have, Jerry? God? Someone?
7:23.
I've got what?
7:17.
I have questions, man. Like, why do they offer Diet Pepsi at Golden Corral? Shit. Give it up for Sideshow Rob, right? It's really kind of cool. People ask me all the time, they say, Rob, do you act like that all the time? Let's just say they hate me at AutoZone. Because here's the problem. Here's the problem. Here's the crux, the climax of the problem. I'm tall, I'm white, I'm middle-aged, I'm just fucking creepy. I don't even talk to kids. I don't care if they offer me candy. Hey, do you think it's easy to find a 65-year-old woman to cut this hair? Shit happens to me now every day. The other day, I was meditating. And I fell asleep. And when I woke up, my legs had fallen asleep. And they were numb, and I couldn't feel them, and I couldn't get them uncrossed, and I was freaking out. And I yelled real loud. I said, help me! I've meditated and I can't get up! But I was alone. If I had only called that number on the screen for the life alert button, I wouldn't have had to wait for someone else to come home to pick my stupid ass up off the floor. Sometimes, maybe it's this church thing, man. By the way, give it up for the First Church of Cannabis. Especially for not putting condom machines in their restrooms. Welcome to church. But anyway, maybe to tell you the truth, I was never Catholic, but to tell you the truth, I went to Catholic school, so I got to listen to you guys do confessions, and you're pretty fucking sappy, that's all I'm saying. Every now and then I'd get my throat blessed and ashes on my head, so that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. It was like, ooh, Ozzy Osbourne. But anyway, I did something, and to tell you the truth, it's got a lot of power over me, and I did something that I'm not very proud of. And sometimes you just need to tell on yourself so it doesn't bother you so bad, right? I relapsed. I hadn't watched The Wizard of Oz since like Easter of 2011. I was channel surfing. Stupid. There's just one scene in that movie that drives me absolutely nuts. Check this out. There's the Tin Man, stiff in the woods for a long time. Along comes the new girl Dot, lost in the woods, holding lubrication. And he says, "My neck." Oh, player. Which one needed the brains? He's like, "Oh, my arm, elbow, my arm, elbow." And I'm thinking, old Tim Boy's going to get the rust off his can one way or another. You know, it's that scene right there that makes the rest of the movie just seem a little unbelievable. I would not just be a nuttin', my head all full of stuffing, my heart all full of pain. I would laugh and be merry. Life would be a ding-a-dairy if I only had a brain.
Keep it going for Mr. Rob Wilbon. All right, we are going to keep things rolling. We decided that, we're not going to take breaks anymore. We're just going to shove more comedy down your throat. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our third veteran of the evening, Mr. Otis Boggs.
First Church of Cannabis, how you doing? All right. All right. I know what you people are thinking. I look like Spanky just ate the rest of the little rascals. I read an article in the newspaper today that said 60% of Americans are overweight. Finally, I'm part of the majority. I read another article in the newspaper that said for every 30 pounds a man loses, he'll gain an inch in length in his penis. Now, when I found that article, I threw it away because if my wife found it, she'd starve me to death. Honey, what's for dinner? Lettuce? Again? Yeah. Sorry, guys. You know what? Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm overweight, but I'm very athletic, which means when I do score, I'm too tired to celebrate. I did try out for sports when I was in school, but I didn't feel things were moving very fast for me in track. I did make a big splash, though, when I joined the dive team. I took one more stab at sports, but the coach told me that I didn't have the body to be a cheerleader, which sucked because I got really good spirit fingers. The one thing I hated about school after the gym was taking showers, Because you notice things are a lot larger on skinny boys, right? Like the towels. I'd had no idea the ends could touch. Because on me, it always stopped, at like 6 and 9. Something else about me, I've had a lot of odd jobs. Like one time I was a roofer, but that job fell through. No worries, I bounced right back. For a short time, I worked at a funeral home. And let me tell you guys, they don't suspect anything if you're having sex in a hearse. It's not what you think. I actually had a girlfriend. It was a really good job. It was a good job until they stiffed me. Yeah, for a short time I was a pizza delivery guy, but I had a hard time explaining to customers, hey man, those 2 slices were on back order. I don't know. They wasn't buying it. It's obvious that I have a lot of tattoos. I'm into tattoos. I'm not a fan of tramp stamps. I have one, but it's not with any real ink or anything, just some whore kicked me in the back. Also, I watch a lot of TV, and I actually want to be on The Biggest Loser, but I still feel Miley Cyrus is too young. By round of applause, how many people here Facebook? Like 3 or 4 claps, so everybody in the room. I'm a married guy, and I asked my friends, is it wrong to look up an old ex on Facebook? And the obvious answer is that it is, which really sucks because I really like my wife's ex. I'm just saying that chick was hot. But if you think about it, Facebook is like the lowest form of friendship, right? I mean, it's just a click and a like and accept a friend request. I had a lady unfriend me one time because I posted unicorns make the best glue. Like her love for a mythical creature was worth more than our fake friendship on Facebook. And Facebook, we all have it on our phones, and we have those small buttons, and every once in a while I'll fat finger a like and not know it for 3 weeks. Like a few months ago, I fat fingered a like a gay group, and I thought something was awful odd because I kept getting a lot of pokes from guys. But I'm a nice guy, so I poke back. I don't actually have any problems with the gay community at all. Just like any group, Black Lives Matter or whatever group you want to be in, just don't flaunt it, don't overdo it, don't ruin it for the rest of the people, I think a few years ago, the gay community peaked when they had a show that came out on A&E that said, what if gays went on strike? They had a thing that said, what if gays went on strike? And I thought, with a gay population of 4%, wouldn't the more important question be, what if the heterosexuals went on strike? Not only would it put the gays who are in the closet in a tight position, what would they do? Would they go on strike and be a Benedict Arnold, or come out of the closet and admit to dicking Arnold? I'm just saying it might be too much for them to swallow. Gosh, this is an R-rated thing, right? Because it's going to get a lot worse. Something else, I grew up poor in Florida. And when you grow up poor in a place like that, you always hope that your parents would take you to someplace magical, like McDonald's. I actually didn't know that I was poor. I didn't mind what we had. I mean, I was happy. The only thing that I wished I had was like a pair of new pants. Because we went to second chance stores before Goodwill was really popular down there. And, they call Florida God's waiting room. So a lot of the clothes I wore looked like they just came off of somebody who recently expired. I mean, it literally looked like I went to school right out of the morgue dumpster. But I remember the first time I found my stepdad's porn. He had dirty magazines, And when I saw him, I was mad. I'm like, what does he need this for? He's got my mom, right? And I start looking at it, and then I get really pissed when I see they're $8 a magazine. I'm like, he's got $8 for these magazines, but he can't buy me a new pair of pants. And I'm flipping through it, just looking at it. $8, that's not bad. There's something in us all that makes us think that we're something that we're not sometimes, you know. Like so every once in a while somebody calls me fat, and I'm thinking, you know what? I go to the gym at least 3 times a month. Fuck you, I'm an athlete. Looking at me, you probably guessed I grew up the fat kid in the neighborhood. I did. I wasn't good at anything. Running, jumping, hide and seek. I realized at a young age that food was going to be my biggest temptation. I remember this one Halloween, my friends and I went out to teepee houses and mess up some mailboxes, but I couldn't really participate because in case we were to get caught, I would need a 1-block head start just to get away. Anyway, we get up to this one house and I walk on down the street. I turn around, I see my friends get started, then I heard the guy come to the house yelling. So I took off running, but my friends took off running the other way. Well, 5 minutes later, the cops caught me because I was passed out on the curb. They told me they knew it was me and my friends and what we were doing. They said I could go free if I give them my friend's name. And I'm like, no way, man. We don't narc on our friends, do we, church? Do we? Hell no, man. Me and the cops, we went back and forth, and finally one officer goes, I'll give you a king-size Snickers bar. I said, Ted, Tibby, Bobby, Mike, and Joey. Looking back, I only have one regret about that night. It wasn't so much for selling out my friends, but I think I could have held out for a second Snickers bar. Well, after losing my friends, I decided it was time to look for a girlfriend. And I looked everywhere. I did everything. I did all the right things. But being a big guy, it's hard to find a girlfriend. Like, I went out on this date one time because there wasn't a second date. Hands down, blind dates are the worst because they, like, trip over everything. They do. And they always dump me after they first touch my face. They're like, oh, God, no. But this one chick I was seeing for a while, she was real bossy, right? She's like, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to do it. And I'm like, whoa, hey, I'm paying you. I dated a Chinese girl one time, and she was critical about everything I did. It's like everything I did was wrong. Put it this way, guys, it was so bad that if Yoko Ono was anything like that girlfriend, I'm sure John Lennon was happy to see the gunman. Too soon? Too soon? The worst date I ever went on is my aunt took me to prom. I mean, the night went really well, but neither one of us thought to bring a condom. I had a woman try to romance me once. I walk in the house and I smell the incense, I see the rose petal, I see candles lit, you know, and I'm walking through a corridor to get to her room, and then right there on the floor was a pentagram. I was like, whoa, and she had actually sacrificed a lamb. Now, I finished, but I didn't stay with her, but on the way out, I was like, you know, the hillbilly in me is like, you want to eat that? I mean, it was prime for the grill. I mean, she did all the legwork. But I'll tell you guys, my fantasy in life before I got married was 2 fat chicks and a bucket of chicken. That's all I ever wanted. But in my fantasy, I was the only one eating chicken. Don't get it twisted. But I knew that I couldn't, being a big guy myself, be with a large woman. Because one, I can't see what I'm doing. I can't imagine her seeing much more, and that's just too much work. Too much. It's like 2 bounce houses coming together. I mean, I don't want a relationship where one of us is going to come out of boredom. Just don't want to do it. But I finally found a woman under 110 pounds that would love me and accept me for who I am. And I got to tell you, saving her from the crack house was the best thing I ever did. Now, being with an ex-crack whore reminded me back when I had a drug problem. But I was only smoking weed, and I'd only smoke like $20 a week in weed. That's not bad, right? $20? It was the munchies that was kicking my ass. That was $200 alone. But for me, I like what the First Church of Cannabis does. I'm all about it. There's a lot of stuff that it can be used for, medical use and so forth. But for me, it was kind of like a waste of life. For me, You know, I'd wake up, I'd get stoned with my buddies and just find myself becoming this king philosopher of the trailer park. You know, spitting out dumb stuff like, do conjoint twins celebrate Independence Day? If a stripper works at 2 bars, does that make her bipolar? Is it wrong to pet your dog naked, or should you put a collar on it? Is it wrong to name your kid Ed and then like later in life tell him he's special? Oh, come on. Yeah, I guess that joke was a little retarded. If enough zombies die, they'll be put on an endangered species list. Do you guys think that the song from AC/DC, You Shook Me All Night Long, was written by a baby? But some good has come out of marijuana. I mean, we wouldn't have electricity if Benjamin Franklin wasn't high as a kite. Because that takes some balls to walk out there and get zapped. I don't even walk to my car in a thunderstorm. But I'm not trying to discover electricity either. I think it would be hilarious if somebody got murdered with a peace pipe. Because then it would be entered in as evidence as a blunt instrument. I have a hypothesis of why marijuana is illegal. It's because they used to use it to make ropes, right? And it was very rough, it was very coarse, and they had already had nylon and stuff that was much, much better and smoother. And I thought the reasons the politicians lobbied against hemp for ropes is because one day they knew they'd fucking hang themselves. Nobody likes a politician. Nobody. But I do like what the First Church does. I seen a couple months ago there was another church that was selling drugs. I can't remember what it was. You'd have to look it up. But you know that gives a church like this a bad rep. They're lobbying for good things here when that one was actually doing wrong with it. But they're proud here, like another group of people are proud are Christians. You know, like during the holidays, let's get off track of the weed stuff, but during the holidays, you can go by any Christian's house and see the nativity scene in the front yard, right? Not so much with Scientologists. I've never drove by their house and seen a volcano or a spaceship in the front yard. Just never happened. Show some damn pride, Scientologists. I think they lost Tom Cruise. But, you know, I talk about weed a lot, but actually drinking's no better. It really isn't. I mean, drinking got me in a lot of trouble. A friend of mine come over, when I first got married, a friend come over, wanted me to take him to a strip club, so we go. And we had a good time, we come home. And I believe in being honest with your spouse. You should never hold secrets, never lie, because it just festers and gets worse over time. So I tell my wife where I was, and she gets mad, and she's like, if you wanted a face full of titties, you should just look down. And I'm like, well, if you want a face full of dick, you should fucking date a black guy. I don't know, I didn't have anything for her. But the same friend come over last week, he's like, hey, let's go out for a few drinks. And I'm like, no strip clubs, so where do you want to go? He goes, let's go to a gay bar. I'm like, a gay bar? He goes, yeah, a free drink's a free drink. I'm like, you're right. Actually, I could go for a blowjob, right? But then how do I know that the guy's buying me free drinks has a clean dick? It'll take a second to get in there. I got a mouthful of dick. I mean, I got a mouthful of dick jokes, is what I'm saying. But drinking, you know, it only gets you into a DUI, and then you're going to end up on a moped, and then you're going to be one level lower than a DUI guy on a moped. And that's the guy riding bitch on a moped. You don't want to be that guy. By round of applause, how many people here have kids? What is wrong with the kids these days, man? The other day, I had a 5-year-old flip me off and call me a fat jerk. I'm like, pfft. After that, I wasn't going to give him back his ice cream cone. I can't blame the parents either, because I'm having problems with my own son, right? The other day, he comes home, and he's got his pants sagging down really low. You know, and it's just me and my wife in the house. We're sitting on the couch. He's walking in the door. "What's up, bitches?" My wife freaks out and says, he will not act like that, dress like that. I'm like, relax. I'll have a talk with him. So I'm talking to my son, and then later that night I'm thinking, how do I know that when I get up and go to work and he goes to school, he's not going to be sagging again, right? So the next morning I get all of his underwear and a brown marker and go to the kitchen table. He come out of the bedroom, he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Keeping your pants up there, skid mark." And you guys know how teenagers get real defensive, right? He's like, I don't care, I'm gonna wear them like that anyway. I'm like, go ahead, gangster skid mark. Shit, let your friends know you ain't afraid to bust a crap. And my daughter runs out of the bedroom and she's like, "Yeah, and britches better recognize." I'm like, high five, all right. But I know he's doing these things to try and fit in and to be cool. He's having a tough time at school. He's getting beat up. He come home, he's like, "Dad, will you buy me karate lessons?" I'm like, "Why don't you use your allowance to buy karate lessons?" He goes, "You don't pay me an allowance." I'm like, "That's right, because you don't fucking do nothing." I said, "Come on, I'll show you a movie I saw when I was a kid." I showed him The Karate Kid, man. He was gung-ho. Wash, wax the car, paint the fence, paint the house, sand the floor, raring to go. Went back to school, got his ass whipped again. He come home, he's like, "Dad, I didn't learn anything." I'm like, "Yeah, you did. You learned how to earn an allowance." And actually, he's 18 now, and my wife and I want him to get out and get a regular job. I'm like, "Why don't you go apply at McDonald's?" He goes, "I refuse to work at McDonald's." I'm like, "Why? You think you're too good for it?" He goes, "No, a gay guy works over there." Now, when I heard that, I was upset. I got in his face and I was like, "Hey, I didn't raise you to be like that. You get your ass across the street and you touch that man's penis." I didn't tell him that in that tone. You got to be nice about things like that. But I don't know. I don't get this kid. He tries to do a lot of different things to be cool. I come home and he was playing spin the bottle, right, with his friends. And I opened the door and I said, "Where's the girls?" You know, it was just him and his guy friends. You think that was the worst part, right? There was no girls. I had to tell them to put their pants back on. And I said, "Son, you won't work at McDonald's because a gay guy, but then you'll play spin the bottle with all your boyfriends?" And he goes, "Dad, I'm metrosexual." I said, "Why can't you just be gay like a normal kid?" Come on. Yeah, I don't know. This sorry, I lost a train of thought here. But my older daughter, she's not much better. She's kind of out in left field. I walk into her room and she was twerking to a poster of Justin Bieber. Now, I don't know if that's what the kids meant by Bieber fever, but that shit made me sick. Something new in my life, my wife and I just had a baby girl. Six years ago. And actually, she's really cute. But my wife and I we have this problem where she wants to sleep with us all the time. So she just lost her first tooth. I thought, okay, we're going to catch a break, right? Well, she goes in her room, she puts the tooth under the pillow, and then she comes back in our room. I'm like, "Honey, what are you doing?" She goes, "I'm going to bed." I'm like, "You need to be in your room." She goes, "I won't get paid." I'm like, honey, it's not about your dollar. If you're not in bed when the tooth fairy gets here, he'll kill you. And my daughter looked at me with this look of fear in her eyes, and she goes, "I'm only going to get $1." I said, "In this fucking economy, yes." She's not very creative. She doesn't have any artistic skills or anything. She comes home and she puts the number 10 on the refrigerator. And I'm like, "Honey, what's the number 10 for?" She goes, "That's not a 10, Daddy. That's a picture of you and Mommy." It was my fault. I should have known something, because the week before she drew a family picture. It looked like 3 sticks in a ball, or 1,110. But something else about her, she's got this wicked, vicious attitude, right? It's almost like Kill Bill meets Dora the Explorer. She gets mad at her brother, gets in a fight with him. I'm assuming he took her backpack. And she goes in the kitchen and she grabs a knife. And she starts chasing him around the house. "I'll fucking cut you, I'll cut your ass." And I'm like, whoa, language. Well, thanks to Obamacare, I pay $7,000 a year in health care now. You could cut him, but you don't need to be vulgar about it. Boundaries. I do love being a parent, I really do, but the one thing I can never get my kids to do, or probably none of you could get your kids to do, is clean their room, right? I don't have a joke for it, it's just really aggravating. Recently, my wife and I, we bought a video camera so that we can film our kids' plays, some games that they play, our vacations that we take and stuff. Hell, my wife and I, we even made an instructional video in the bedroom, and then later showed it to our kids. I'm like, "You see how your mom's bent over? You see how she's taking it? Picking it up, putting it in the trash. That's how you clean your room!" You didn't think I was going to a dark place, did you? Oh. I hate that we live in a country where we've taken the paddle out of the schools. I really do. When my son was younger, they come to my wife and I and said he was disruptive in class and they wanted to put him on medication. And I wouldn't let him. I said, "You show me a 20-year study of what happens to these kids after taking this medication and maybe we'll talk." Well, they couldn't because it was new. I said, "You know what? I love my son too much for you to drug him. You beat his ass." But this country, we've got it all twisted now. We need to start going backwards, and we're doing that in the wrong way. We need to go back to what we used to have in this country. Solid morals and foundation. You know, we cut a lot of programs out of the school, and then we spend money on dumb shit like, well, my niece comes home last week wearing an abstinent ring. You know, and I'm like, what a waste of money that is, to give that to the ugly kids. I mean, Mother Nature's got that one covered. Good times. Sometimes I'd like to watch, when my kids were younger, I'd watch a scary movie with them and then tell them later it was based on a true story. Okay, that one's a little out there. You're not buying it. When my wife reaches orgasm, it sounds something like a bad night at a karaoke bar on Wednesday. Like all tone deaf. She's like, "And I, you know, it's really aggravating. I'm constantly yelling at her, "Stop masturbating!" Last Christmas, my mom bought my wife the movie Pretty Woman for a Christmas gift, and my wife was like, "Oh, your mom didn't have to do that." I'm like, "You don't understand. That's my mom's way of saying you're a lucky hoe." Now, my wife and I, we give gifts to each other that have a little bit of meaning. Like for our anniversary, I bought her this sexy French maid outfit, right? She puts it on, she comes in there, and she's like, "I know what you want." I'm like, "Yeah, I want you to clean the house." Ladies, it's no worse than what she bought me. But before I tell you what she got me, my wife is the kind of person that would like to buy you a gift and then rub your face in it. A couple months ago, she bought me a new pillow. I said it was nice. God. Well, okay, for our anniversary, she bought me a strap-on. I'm like, "All right, I'm game. I know what you want." I walk in the bedroom, like, "Hey, baby, I know what you want." And she's like, "Yeah, I want you to go fuck yourself." Wow, that was cruel, baby. But it got us in a big fight, a really big fight. And she looked at me and she goes, I chose wrong. That's the words that she uttered to me, that she had chose wrong. I'm like, what do you mean you chose wrong? She goes, well, somewhere out there's another Otis who's skinny, rich, big dick. I'm like, yeah, but that Otis has a beautiful wife. Hey, she started it. She started it. Actually, my luck with women is really, really bad. We've all heard the, we need to talk. Look, it's not you, it's me kind of thing. Women tell you that before. I was so afraid as a child, my mom would be like, son, come home, we need to talk. What, you don't want to be my mom anymore? No, it's not you, it's me. You deserve a better mom. Well, yeah, you're fucking poor, of course I do, but you're my only mom. Okay, that didn't work out the way I thought TV land or live stream land. I fucked that up. I see I only got a few minutes left. I'll tell you guys that in the past year and a half, I've lost 150 pounds. And what got me to go to the gym in the first place and lose weight is a couple years ago, my wife and we went out to a fancy dinner for our anniversary, and I ordered a 16-ounce steak. It comes to the table, and it's half fat. And my wife's like, you're not going to eat that. I'm like, all right, I won't. And she's mad, but she's insistent. She calls the waitress over. She goes, excuse me, ma'am, is this an abnormal amount of fat? And the waitress is like, well, I wouldn't date him. But I did, and I knew I had to do something, because I was at a point in my life where I wanted to lose weight. Like, for starters, I wanted to stop sitting on my nuts. Every time I sat down on a small toilet bowl, it felt like I was doing a reverse teabag on the fucking thing. It was bad. It was bad. My wife adds to the list, she says it'll improve our sex life. Now, I'm the man. I've done my job in the bedroom, right? I bought the toys, the batteries. I even come up with a role-playing game. Like, one time I was Bill Clinton, she was Monica Lewinsky. Close, but no cigar. Good time. Sometimes I wonder what life would be like if I was skinny. Like, I think the first thing I'd do is go get a new wife. But I'm really reluctant to have the one I got now, because before her, I'd spent most of my adolescence banging a tube sock. And my wife, she does try really hard to satisfy me, right? Like, when we first got together, she had a massive bush. It was like one you could hide a sniper in. Somebody call the Kennedys, because I found the second shooter. Turns out it was a G.I. Joe. I'm a collector. It was ruined. It was out of the box. What are you going to do, right? Well, I asked her to shave. Well, she did. But when I saw it, all I saw was this little strip of hair. That's what she left. And when I saw it, I was intimidated. All I kept thinking of was Mr. T. I pity the fool that don't please this pussy. Hey, guys, I'm Otis Boggs. Thank you for coming out to the First Church of Cannabis.
All right, keep it going for Otis Boggs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come in the evening to bring to you. He is the Archangel of Cannabis, and Sky feels sorry for all the hookers that he have to sleep with him. I still think that's hilarious. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Jerry Goebel.
For the record, I don't get paid to do this, and that's why I'm a prostitute. All right? People have to pay to have sex with me because I'm the only action in town. That's a true story. There's nothing here to tie it off on. With this, you brought the stool on stage. This is it? This is it? Hang the local town prostitute? Is that what you're going to do here? First Church of Cannabis, intolerant of capitalistic goals? Prostitution, come on. What is it to be a prostitute? That's an interesting question. I liked Will Fong's Jesus Christ pose he was doing there through this whole set. And with Reese's cup right across the chest, man. That is like, right? You talk about these endorsement things. Imagine if Jim Morrison had Reese's on his t-shirt. You know what I mean? He wouldn't do commercials. It was his integrity issues. But you got the Jesus Christ pose with a logo on it, and it's totally, and we're talking prostitution here for a Reese's cup? What would you do for a Reese's cup? What would you do for a York Peppermint Patty, Jimmy Morrison? Where are your dead Indians now, motherfucker? Cash it out. Jerry Goebel for Pepsi. See, there's nothing to tie it to. So, like most of my jokes, right? Nothing to tie them to. They're just a loose collection of shit hanging around the house. See, if I could get on the stool, the internet would only see my feet. And that would be hilarious to do my whole show where it was just me choking out at the end and you just see my feet for 20 minutes. And it'd be like the Blair Witch, right? That was exactly what the Blair Witch movie was, right? It was a lot of nothing and a little bit of something at the end, and that's what you sat through it for. But then at the end, you got... How was the comedy show? It's over finally. It's over. He's gone. The reign of tyranny of the comedy of the Otto Nation. The Otto Nation, what are we, the operation, we're the Otto Nation Initiative. We're taking over. We're like, you know, the Occupy movement with George Soros, Devilman, taking over the world. Otto Nation. Jerry Goebel is the front, the Comedy Liberation Front, to free the world from capitalistic prostitution of our art, right? Right? Is that what this is all about? I want to be like Toby Keith and advertise for Ford trucks. That's what I want to do. That's me, Jerry Goebel, male prostitute. I'll do it. I'll do whatever TV show. I'll do a game show for you, internet. I'll do a game show for you all fucking night long. All night long. Wheel of Fortune, concentration, Jeopardy! I do it all. What is the climax, Jerry? Thank you for 100. Get up there. Come on. Right on. Cool. You see him? My buddy, right? Little Jerry. Right? You don't see him? Looks exactly like me. Except he's wearing a leprechaun suit. Because evil Jerry is a little more funnier than regular Jerry. I'm sorry. I'm just having a moment. I got 20 minutes to kill, folks. Until the big finish. I'll be like, oh, yeah, kind of fucked around, just like the Blair Witch Project. And at the end, boom, something happens. Stick around, internet. Stick around. You want to start talking politics again, and then you'll see the red dot at the end. That's how it'll go down. Right? I've been off Facebook, so I don't really know what's going on. And I have been prostituting heavily. I gotta tell you, I'm working it. I used to do retail, so it's pretty much the same thing. You know what I mean? You're talking about, it's just another piece work, right? Commission sales. You're like, right? You just, you know. I mean, not that it'd make me a lot of money to be a male prostitute, you know, I mean, because really, seriously, I mean, it's not like I could walk in a bank and just whip it out and get paid, you know. Maybe get a couple of tellers, maybe, but never a bank manager. I'm not that gorgeous. I don't look fiscally responsible. I'm not that kind of... I give this guy money, he's just going to blow it on comic books. He's a fucking Gen Con addict. What are you doing, kid? What have you been doing with your life, Goebel? Well, I was a dungeon master for 10 years. It was sort of a cold compound kind of thing for 10 years, and I was pretty much a virgin the whole time. So, man, when I got out, I turned right to prostitution. Because everybody wants a piece of the virgin ass. That's what it is. They all want a piece of that naivety, you know, before you realize there's a shot coming. You know what I mean? That's what really ruins porn in the end, is when they're ready for it now. Oh, jeez. That's the money shot. Oh, great. We all know it's coming. How hard is it to sell every time and pretend like it's new and original? After the 50th or 60th or 70th time in a row, you don't even notice after a while. You just look like a glazed donut. And you just realize you're in the entertainment industry. And that's what it's all about, right? And then you get a reality show, you know, because that's where we're at now. Prostitute your free time for a reality show. Have any skills? Nope. But I got a lot of free time. You want to follow me around with a camera? Come on out. Follow me with my free time. Watch Jerry prostitute himself. Here comes Jerry. God, this guy just revealed the whole thing. I feel like I'm coming clean with you guys finally. My dirty little secret's out. I'm not, no, really, seriously. Everybody's like, oh yeah, he's down in the toy store putting stuff together for garage sales. Yeah, okay, right, code, right, garage sales. Yeah, open for business. We get it, Jerry. And, you know, and then the editing thing, you know, editing, yeah. We had one comedy grinder in a month. Really, Jerry? What exactly are you editing? Code. Just means I'm doing whatever it takes to get the money. That's what I say. When I'm under the bus with my editing, it means I should be making bank, but I'm getting scale. That's not cool. Purse, piecemeal, you know, anyway. So. Anybody else want to come out about something? I feel like there should be more churchy stuff in this. How about we do that? We'll convert this to the religion. This is where Jerry snaps. Evil Jerry's telling me to do it. I don't know. He's had his dick out the whole time. Have you seen it? The whole time, and not a single person's thrown money. See, you lose. Fuck you, man. I'm right. Okay. So he's always there, telling me not to do things. You know, like have restraint. You know, you shouldn't go straight. You shouldn't go sober. You need to prostitute some more, Jerry. And I'm like, thank you, Evil Jerry, finally for setting me free. So thank you. God damn it, I love you. I do. Okay. All right. So, all right, we'll talk. Do the dance. Right? Okay, hang on. Let him go ahead. Right? Yeah. Okay. All right, good. Thank God. Amen. Hallelujah. Now, some of these testimonials, we'll do some real testimonials. We'll do testimonials of me online. Well, that would be interesting testimonials. Like, how was I bad online? What was a naughty thing I did? I don't really do naughty things online. I'm more dickish. So I would say probably posting shit on your Facebook page that I know you don't like. That would be kind of one way of being kind of a douche. And then pretending like you don't know. Why? What are you mad about? You know, I had a guy who was so mad at me for months because I posted a picture. It was a zombie Last Supper. Right? Which is hilarious. And honestly, if you go back a few years on my face, if you've got nothing on your, you know, when the incident happens and you're doing the Google search on me, the incident about 2 or 3 years ago, you'll see the picture. It's a great picture, but it's the Last Supper. It's the portrait of the old master's portrait. And in the middle, and all the apostles are zombies, and Jesus is in the middle, and there's just this fucked up look on his face because obviously he's being eaten alive by zombies. Which obviously, if he's a real man, that's the expression I would have. You know what I mean? So it's not unrealistic. But it was actually a parody of the master's portraits because there was a zombie Mona Lisa, there was a zombie David. You know what I mean? So it was like a motif of the thing. But I sent the one picture, and the dude was so mad at me. Was so angry because I was defiling, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, no, it's the wrong joke, dude. It's the other joke over there. It's that joke, and he hated me for the longest time because I posted it there. But then I'm like, God damn it, dude, you know, you want to fight over these things, right? Because now I'm like, is this evil to prolong this for 200 comments? Probably. You could resolve this and be a gentleman about it. Go, I'm really sorry I posted that. I understand your feelings on it. And I feel like an asshole. Could have said that in one sentence and been done. But no. You didn't get the joke. And then I'm fighting with the guy over a fucking joke. You know what I mean? It's really, like, how insane is that? How insane is that? I mean, I know on a subliminal level, he was one of the guys that was with the Focus on the Family people who were against Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, so maybe on a subliminal level, I was getting even. Possibly, but it was just me being an evil dick, and I was okay with it, man. I'm okay with it. Sometimes I guess I feel like, is being an evil dick justifiable, you know, when it comes to justice, right? So I mean, technically, Batman is beating the fuck out of people and putting them in the hospital and crippling them for life, right? Is that a bad thing? That's morally ambiguous. Kinda. You know, that's why I always was like, if you ever read comic books, there's one called Ghost Rider. They made movies out of it with Johnny Cage or Nick Cage. Is Johnny Blaze. But there's the problem with that whole character is that the hellfire of the Ghost Rider burns your soul to nothing. Okay, so how's the moral ambiguity in that fucking comic book? The superhero burns a soul to nothing. Leaves a zombie-like corpse that's gonna live for 90 years. That's kind of a dick move. Sounds like a villain, man. I think this is a typecast issue, but then this is morally ambiguous gray area. Wolverine walking through a crowd, slicing people with those super sharp little knives. You never see it on the cartoons during the kids' time. No, sir. But those are fucking 3 deadly weapons that cut his knuckles every time he shoots them out, and he murders people like nobody's business. It's a good guy. Morally ambiguous. I'm a comedian, and I moonlight as a prostitute. Morally ambiguous. Right? That's what this is all about. What's the grading scale? It's really a shame I wasn't into money more. I really, fucking socialism kills you as a person. It really does. Well, it's not that. Actually, it's not even socialism. Who am I kidding? It's fucking Dungeons and Dragons. It is. I understood the gold piece breakdown. I understood there's 2 electrum per gold. I understood that. And I knew you hit 20 copper pieces per, you know what I mean? I understood the financial breakdown. It was very simple. So when you start talking half pennies and a tuppence, I don't fucking know what you're talking about. I don't even know what a bushel and a fucking peck is. I can break a quarter, but I'll tell you what, when it comes to dividing up wheat and dividing up change, quarters mean different things. You better know this before you go into business. That's all I'm saying. I just know that I'd rather prostitute myself for that than try to figure out retail value. So I don't dig money. I don't get it. I just it's a token economy, really. Monopoly, same deal. Some asshole printed up some money on paper, gave it to you, said it has a value. It's supposed to be about gold. Gold doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. So now you're just holding pieces of paper, and everybody's all territorial about their pieces of paper. Well, geez. I can't get attached to it because, frankly, there were so many editions of Dungeons and Dragons and Stormbringer and Chill. There's so many monetary systems I flipped on. I couldn't give a fuck about $1. Shit. What are you kidding me, man? I mean, platinum pieces are way cooler. If I had one, I'd buy this church. But I don't. Instead, I'm going to prostitute myself with 50-cent magazine debt because that's the economy. I have to go with the barter system. I'm more of a ranger character. I used to think, because I'm obviously not a thief. Let's face it, I got no thieving skills whatsoever. You don't even know what you're fucking stealing. Can't be a thief. Obviously, I'm not a dwarf. Got a little height issues. Definitely a guy. Not a magic user. Possibly a cleric, but I want to hurt people bad. Then it's an alignment issue. So I really don't know where I fit in there. I'm probably more of a ranger type. A scavenger, hunter-gatherer, ranger type. That's probably what I am. So I've managed to hunt and gather and scavenge a television show. So I'm probably level 60. Right? Is that pretty good for, yeah, right, okay. So when I die and you recycle my character sheet, you can say, there's Jerry Goebel, his character sheet says he was amazing. And not a prostitute. But everybody needs a hobby, right? Is it, okay, so here's a deity dozen question that I had. Okay, so do not be a troll on the internet or vulgarly aggressive and all that. And then you throw the do not start fights, only finish them. Morally ambiguous for me. Because that just tells me to engage if you're a dick. Right? So I'm like a hellfire canitarian. I'm an old school Bible thumper. I'm on there when I'm going to fight my social injustice when you post your stupid posting that's incorrect. I will chastise you with the righteous fury of getting even. It's, but I'm just kind of twisting it, I think. But you get my point. Morally ambiguous. Comedian, television producer, morally ambiguous. Is he funny or is he promoting a show? Well, I don't know. Jesus, everybody's a hostage until he lets everybody out. We'll never know. When the reviews come in, they'll be like, oh my God, he did this. It started as a sermon, and his little friend waved his dick the whole time. You've been doing it the whole time? Dude, seriously. Fucking asshole. That's the way it is, It's better than the voices in my head. I really, I used to have a real problem with that. I really had a problem. There was this lesbian truck driver. that just, I'm out in the field trying to figure out how to change a truck tire, I'm like, God, worst personality ever to pick up, until they proved it was false, and that multiple personality disorder doesn't actually exist, which kind of ruins that theory. So then I was just into extreme role playing, is what that was. Multiple personality disorder. I love that. It's one of those things they created. Talk about brand marketing. Talk about selling and prostitution. Here's psychology's prostitution. Multiple personality disorder didn't actually exist. It's a variation on schizophrenia. The DSM-3 changed it, said it doesn't exist anymore. The reason it was promoted was because of books like The Faces of Eve and Sybil. You guys remember that? Yeah, Sybil was great. Because actually, I kind of had a thing for Sally Field for a while. I was pretty young, but still, it was sort of like, dude, that'd be like fucking 12 people. That's pretty hot. That's a different night, a different person. She doesn't remember. If it went badly last night, I can work on it tonight with the next personality. I just have to mark which personalities that I can't, got to keep your story straight. It's like juggling, But and there's the ultimate problem is you don't know which girlfriend you're juggling at the end. Right? There's the ultimate trap. You think it's a good thing, and you're like, I don't know. What did I tell you about, Joe's Crab Shack? Shit, which one are you? Oh, you want to get in the truck? All right, cool. Nice. We're going to go, it's the trucker. Oh, fuck yeah. Jeez. Oh, God. Yeah, we're going for seafood. Okay. Yeah. A lot of things that don't exist. That's why I think it's kind of crazy. That's like, the media strikes these things that they tell you about, these brand things that don't exist. And after the fact, you're just kind of like, oh, yeah, okay. Like that was a psychological test at DSM-3. That's how they committed people to insane asylums. And it was just an error, like complete, that it doesn't exist. Your classification didn't exist. If you think about a lot of the classifications, being homosexual was a psychological disorder, and you would be put away for that too, because they didn't have churches back then that would do it. So they had to let scientists handle it. And then when science couldn't find a way, they were going to pray it away, and that's how the whole evolution happened on that shit. So, but it didn't exist. So there's all these people being put away and for reasons that don't exist. Your for-profit prison system. Those guys are being put to work. Okay, so here's the thing. If you get busted, like for child support, right? If you owe a lot of child support, they won't let you out until it gets paid off. How the fuck is that possible? To pay that off if you're in jail, one would ask. And then you would say the answer is all these wonderful jobs that we've been supplying inside the prison system for your convenient disposal of human people, And you go, all right, perpetually a building full of divorced, bitter guys. That's really what you want doing retail. Because that's every Walmart and every Menards I've ever been in. Really, go to a retail outlet, find a 10-year vet in retail that's a dude, and he's a bitter divorced dude who's maybe he's making a play for a cashier, or a bank teller. It depends. Depends on whether there's a bank in the Walmart or not. In which case, you cannot pull your dick out, and that's why I didn't work for Walmart after 10 years. So bitter. You can't be cool and go like, I'd like to make a deposit. Doesn't really sell well. And then they put you in the write-up, and then they tell you it's terror, and it's in your file, and I should be afraid. Then I go, Jerry, what do you think? And he says, you're full of shit. And next thing you know, I'm being told the DSM-3 says he doesn't exist. The fuck is wrong with this world? Right? Crazy bastards. I suffer from Baron Munchausen syndrome. That's obvious. Yeah, wow. The Gen Con crowd. You go with Baron Munchausen with the Gen Con crowd. Isn't that calculated? Ooh, a Game of Thrones joke. Let's do it. I actually had a Game of Thrones joke about doing a porn. We call it the Game of Thongs. Right? And it's going to be a great porn movie because there's a dwarf in it. And, at some point somebody's going to be sliding down the Lannister banister. And, see? And there's always going to be one guy that's coming. So you just find out if his name is Winter. Winter is coming. And coming. And coming. Mr. Goebel, could you keep a straight face, please? He's obviously the most unprofessional prostitute we've ever worked with. It's horrible. Waxes rhapsodically to his invisible friend. I mean, Jesus, what's wrong? What's wrong? So, I didn't go to Gen Con this year. I haven't gone since they were up in Michigan, or Wisconsin, in Geneva. I made it one year. And that's where I met Elvira, and she looked exactly like she looks now. She was working the convention, which is really kind of a strange thing to find out that the only woman working the Gen Con at that time, the only woman at Gen Con at that time was Elvira. And she looks exactly the same today. She's been around a while, man. I think she's really a vampire. I really think she's been feeding on nerd blood. I think nerd blood, or she bathes in it because her skin is way pale. And she's got to be Dick Clark-ish. But that's back when, back when I went to Gen Con, they had a game that was big smiley face balls going down hallways, shooting balls into the back. It was like Pac-Man, two-dimensional, and and it was like the first time it was multiplayer, and everybody was just all joy-gasming all over the place, because that's what multiplayer is all about, fighting the ultimate fighting thing. When your big glowy head spits a big ball on that other guy's big glowy head, you defeat him in Mortal Kombat and become a man. Oh yeah, that's the right of manhood today. That's why 12-year-olds, there's some 12-year-olds out there, the most manly motherfuckers I've ever met. They run a 35 kill streak with Lando Calrissian. Are you fucking kidding me? With Lando? And I think it's great that Lando's in there. I don't know if there's some kind of bias or racist thing going on with that, but all the Bespin Cloud Guards are black. Right? Okay, now that isn't the thing that really kind of pissed me, or it bothers me. Okay, they got these emotes that the characters do, like you push a thing and it'll say, I've got a bad feeling about this, or they'll do poses and stuff. Okay, there's one pose that is, put cuffs on. Okay, so now I have the black Bespin guard who's asking people to arrest him. I'm like, shit, this should be happening in like Ferguson or St. Louis. This is Star Wars Battlefront St. Louis, Battlefront Philadelphia. It's a great game. So anyway, thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate you guys supporting live comedy and my mass delusion. I'll give it up for Jerry. And and you can put it away. Okay, all right. And thank you guys for coming out, and I appreciate we're going to do this again next week. And anybody that we can kidnap off of the street again, like you unlucky folks, we'll have a nice full room again. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you around. Good night.